All right. So, you know, I feel like all of us got kind of caught up in small sample stuff over the last couple weeks or whatever. And what I mean by that is the Pittsburgh Steelers have only hired three coaches since 1969. Okay. Those three coaches bore similar characteristics. They were young coaches who were in their first jobs, who were defensive guys. They all ultimately wound up being coaches who won Super Bowls. So as a result, we all thought that when the Steelers hired a head coach, that it would be a defensive guy in his 30s who never had a job before. But all I can assume is that we were operating off of small samples, right? Like this wasn't quite like the Raiders after they let John Madden go, and well, they didn't let him go. John Madden left, but after John Madden left, every coach that Al Davis hired was an young offensive guy, and the reason was, well, yeah, mostly young. Either way, they're all offensive guys, and the reason was Al Davis ran his own defense, right? He didn't need a defensive coordinator. He just needed an offensive coordinator and then somebody to call plays on Sunday, right? But we had enough times that he had changed over coaches that we understood that that right there was the pattern. Okay. Nope, the Steelers apparently just hired three coaches because everything that we thought we knew about them, they took it and they wiped their sooty keister with it because they went and hired Mike McCarthy to be their head coach. And I think that we are typically a little bit too hard on Mike McCarthy, and I have explained in the past why I think it is that y'all are so hard on Mike McCarthy, and it's because he's chubby, right? Like the rules get all messed up when chubby people come out here. Y'all know how y'all treat chubby people, and if you don't want to believe me, go ask a chubby person. They will tell you how they get treated, but there's a way in which people don't take Super Bowl champion Mike McCarthy seriously that I think is tied to his weight. Ryan, you sent me the joint with the numbers where he basically, it's kind of like he got the same track record as what's his name, John Harbaugh.
I mean, him, Tomlin, and John Harbaugh are kind of Spider-Man each other,
yes,
with the exact same resume. Now, obviously, I would not say the same level of coach, but the same level of resume.
Yeah, but when you look at it, it's very, very.
It's
very
about
similar.
170 wins. It's
right.
One Super Bowl and not a lot of playoff wins since the first Trump presidency.
Right. And when he got this job, McCarthy, when he got this job at the Cowboys, we're like, what in the world were they doing? And by the way, they were just fine. Right. The problem was not Mike McCarthy. Now, there were some problems that you could say you have with his offense, but the problem was not Mike McCarthy. We are all a little bit too down on him. However, let me tell you what I have never seen Mike McCarthy do. I have never seen Mike McCarthy coach a quarterback who was less than very good, or dare I say excellent. Okay? He got a version of Brett Favre that was still pretty good. He got Aaron Rodgers when he, at least regular season-wise, was as good as any quarterback we have seen, just in terms of the pure execution of playing football. He was as good as anybody that we had ever seen, right? Remove team success from it, everything else. Just like, wow, I can't believe how good this guy is. And then Dak Prescott, who's probably like, I would say that Dak Prescott's not going to make the Hall of Fame, but shit, after what happened with Stafford.
All he needs is one trade to the right guy.
That's right. Stick around long enough. He keeps getting better.
Yeah.
You still have a chance, buddy. But the bottom line is, if the worst quarterback that Mike McCarthy ever coached was Dak Prescott, he's been living good.
Right.
Okay? Who the hell is going to play quarterback for the Steelers next year? Because I feel pretty confident that that's not going to bring Aaron Rodgers back.
I mean, I can't imagine a world, even if Aaron Rodgers does come back.
Correct. That's not what you want.
Right. Like that. If that's your best option, you don't have a lot of good options.
Yeah. So what are they doing? They hired a coach who is in his early mid 60s, right? Who was 63, Ryan?
Turns 63 next season.
All right, he turns 63. They're not starting over, right? They're not a rebuild sort of team. Let me tell you something that's wild. Up until that Minkah Fitzpatrick trade, where they traded away first round pick to get him, they had a run for decades of every year making one first round pick. Never two, never zero. one first round pick, right? Like they have operated very much so on a process sort of thing. They don't believe in tearing it down. I understand if you don't believe in tearing it down, that's fine. My question is, what the hell do you think this team is that you have right now? And if your goal is, or your game is, we are going to stay competitive with the roster that we have, and then you add Mike McCarthy, it is implying to me that even though Mike Tomlin left of his own volition, you kind of think he was the problem.
Right.
Because, I mean, clearly you guys don't mind changing what you've done in the past. Or what is that small sample thing again? Because you just hired Mike McCarthy, right? You are clearly not wedded to everything you had done before. There have been articles that have come out that are implying that the Steelers are in a place that a lot of college programs get to. North Carolina basketball is one I could think of around the Matt Doherty era, where you look up and what you got's a little bit stale, right? And you'd always been able to get by on whatever the name was and all of this, but then you look up and everybody else is doing all these things, and you've been so wedded to what you're doing because everybody talks about what it is that you do, and then you look up and it's like, oh, snap, man, we need to get some other things going, right? That is what has kind of been implied in reporting that we're seeing around the Steelers right now. I just don't see how Mike McCarthy makes anything better. And I feel like if he ain't making it better, he's making it worse.
To me, when you were talking about college football there, I thought you were going to get to the point where it seems that all politics is local. And there's a lot of reporting going around that part of the reason Mike McCarthy is getting this job
because he's from Pittsburgh.
He's from Pittsburgh. It's certainly not a factor.
Yeah, but what the hell? If that's what they're doing, is that can't be all it takes, right? I mean, they're going to hire, what's his name, Dave Wanstead. like under these
I'm sure his name's been pitched.
And I know this. I was just looking at ESPN.com, and Ryan, I don't know if you've seen this, but the headline is Rooney to fans. Steelers, quote, excited about Mike McCarthy. And Mike McCarthy is many things, but he's not exciting. Even if you think he's effective, even if you think he's the right man for the job, he is not excited. Listen to this. We're not worried about winning the initial press conference. See, that's when you know. You know ain't nobody trying to hear this shit, man. And look, courage to them. Like, when you know you're making a call that people aren't going to like, but you're going to do it anyway, hey, there's a certain level of G that I suppose you have to have in you in doing that. Just none of us understand Mike, I feel bad for McCarthy in the sense that he can't answer the questions. You know what I mean? Like, the questions we have about this decision are not questions that he can answer by telling us about what the scheme is going to be or telling us what the staff is going to be. What we don't understand this.
Yeah, everything about this hire, we talked about it being one of the best jobs available because you were going to get a long runway. You were going to be able to grow into the job because we assumed they would hire someone in their late 30s, early 40s. And now they've hired someone just the most retread of all retreads.
Yes.
Like someone who's coached, again, lots of experience for probably the two of the other glamour franchises in the NFL. But like if you pushed Mike Tomlin out because he couldn't get over the hump.
Right.
And so you bring in Mike McCarthy. I just don't understand the logic.
Well, here's the problem, or where I think this will be interesting, is because of his age, you don't really have the option of patience. I don't think. Like, you can sell patience with your 35-year-old guy, and you're like, hey, we gave him a 5-year contract, and we're going to, we've made this decision right here and now, that this is a 5-year play, and we're going to, see where it goes.
Especially with the Steelers, who have one of the oldest rosters in the NFL.
Right. Like, you could get up there and say, hey, look, we're going to see how this goes. You know how we do things. You can't do that with a guy that's 60-something years old. Nobody's trying to hear about the time that you're willing to give him or the time that you're going to afford him. Nobody wants to hear this. So I wish I had an answer for what exactly it is that they're going to do from here. I don't think anybody has the answer for what it is that they are going to do. It is not exciting. They said that, the Steelers said that they're excited. Somebody has to be. Nobody else is excited about this move. Also, Ryan, did they look at the rest of these coaches and just be like, it ain't really hitting?
Right. I mean, I would rather have Robert Saleh than.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. What a weird cycle where Saleh takes the Titans job.
Right.
Right? Because here's one thing I do know that Saleh's going to do. Saleh's going to bring in some form of the Shanahan offense, right?
Right. He's going to go find some
32-year-old guy.
There's always another Kubiak.
Yes.
Like Chris.
They're all over the place.
Chris Kubiak, or, whatever.
Yeah, K-R-I-S.
Exactly.
Whatever
Clay Kubiak. I think
Killer Coobs, right? Like one of them is going to be there. It's so funny. You've seen this thing with Con Knippel, where
Yes.
Con Knippel and all the Knippels have names that start with K, and the question immediately was, what's your middle name?
Of course.
I haven't seen anybody ask this about these Kubiaks, and I'm going to find out right now. Like, I hope that there is a level of self-awareness about what Alexander Kubiak. I would
go by Alex.
Yeah, I recall having a teacher whose initials were a K, and then a K, and then a K.
Gotta change your name. You gotta mix.
Well, now you do. I'm not sure if then you had to, right? I don't have.
But that option is always available.
It's always on the board, man. It's always on the board, right? Like you could. There's lots of ways.
Baby. People change their name every day.
There's lots of ways to change your name. You ain't even got to go Muslim. You know what I'm saying? You ain't even got to get it on your official paperwork. Yeah. But you got sometimes you gotta make an adjustment. Speaking of needing to make an adjustment, they're talking about the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm intrigued also by these guys like Mike McDaniel did this, Brian Flores did this, where they jumped on the bird in the hand of these assistant jobs. But the rule is you can't stop somebody from interviewing for a head job,
right?
If they are an assistant coach. So McDaniel's got that job with Harbaugh. Flores apparently is staying with Minnesota, which surprised me for a couple of reasons. But they're also still kind of out there interviewing for jobs. Now, look, man, I don't think nobody giving Brian Flores no job. The Steelers knew him.
Yeah.
And they said, no
thank you.
All right, for whatever it's worth, right? They said, no, thank you. This is a weird market. I think that's the only way that I can really say it.
On Friday, the Bills interviewed Phillip Rivers.
Holy shit, I forgot about that already. Guys, in case you did not know this truly happened. On Friday, the Bills interviewed Phillip Rivers. And it was so funny because you sent me a text about it, and you had made mention of the point that also Josh Allen was going to be sitting in on interviews. And I'm like, I can't believe anybody cares about that right now. He's going to sit in on an interview. Yeah, and Phillip Rivers is going to be the one that's making the presentation. What? I'm also trying to imagine Phillip Rivers, because he's not he's a high school coach, but he ain't been a coach like this. Is he on ChatGPT right now, cooking up his PowerPoints and cranking out who the staff is going to be? Whose idea was this? Did they call him? Did he call them?
I would rather have Phillip Rivers than Mike McCarthy.
I see the point. I see the argument. I don't know
I don't know if it's that's personal preference.
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't know any of what's going on here. I do know. I do want to say this though about the Josh Allen sitting in on. I don't see that didn't move me at all, right? I guess this is not really commonplace in the NFL. I wonder if this also happened because Bisciotti in Baltimore, where he said, Lamar, if you wanted to have a say-so about who the coach was, then why don't you get on the plane with me? We come up here and we do these interviews, right? And maybe Josh Allen was like, yeah.
They were also interviewing people in Florida, so you might have just been avoiding, Buffalo this time of year.
No, could be, right? But I think we all need to be honest about the level of power that Josh Allen has with this team. And even if he's not in the interviews, they're not hiring a coach without Josh Allen being like, yeah, I can see it.
Yeah.
Right? This is not Jerry Jones hiring Barry Switzer and then telling Troy Aikman about it, right?
Yeah.
No. This decision was always going to involve Josh Allen in a way prominent enough that didn't get me. It's hey, Phillip Rivers did a good job playing as an old man. Why don't we make him a coach? I hear he's doing a good job coaching at a private school in Alabama. What? And see, and this is the thing, man. If they'll invite him to interview, it's a good chance he'll get the job. Because clearly they're crazy.
You do not call Phillip Rivers unless you're actually considering it.
Right. Somebody's like, ooh, we'll see. I tell you this. I wish I could get into group chat with some of the brothers in the Fritz Pollard Alliance. I'd love to know what they thought when the Phillip Rivers email came through. Like, what are you saying? Like, it was funny when Jeff Saturday got the job with the Colts a couple years ago. And I know Jeff, and I like Jeff a lot. It was so crazy that they gave him the job that I didn't even have time to get around to a Rooney Rule discussion because the white boys had room to be just as mad as everybody else. Like, everybody was like, yo, what the fuck? Are you serious? Like he on TV right now. What are you talking about?
You had to get off the first take, second set, and get on a private plane to Indianapolis.
Yeah, that's why it's actually so funny. I'm talking about the brothers being mad about this with Phillip Rivers. Again, the white boys is up in arms. Joe Brady's got to be like, you can't be fucking serious. I've been up here freezing my ass off for years. I got the big galoot under control. And now you go with what? He don't even got his own whistle.